Welcome to Halcap Field in Hawthorne, California, where the Lawndale Cardinals, 9-0, 4-0 in league, are taking on the Hawthorne Cougars on senior night here at their field, 5-4 overall and 1-3 in league. Good evening, everybody. Along with Sebastian Spencer and Darius Jackson, I'm Lou Stowers, bringing you all the action on City TV. And what a game we've got tonight. It is another rivalry game here at Halcap Field.
Yeah, definitely big-time rivalry between Lawndale and Hawthorne. Schools are less than a mile between each other, but you know what? Lawndale, being as dominant as they have been this year, it's going to be tough for this Hawthorne team to stop them. But you know what? Coach Travis said that they practiced this week, and they had a great practice, and these guys are ready to finish off the season with a bang.
After rolling over Beverly Hills, Coach T said that they had a good practice, but you never know about the letdown.
Yeah, you never know. And he said we're treating this like a playoff game, and that's the number one thing, is that you don't let up against any opponent. And Coach is treating that exactly the same way as he would treat any other opponent. He's not looking at the record. He knows Hawthorne comes in and they play hard, and they have a lot of guys on this team who are really talented.
Now, speaking of talent, a lot of talent on the Hawthorne Cougars sideline, but they're missing one big key tonight.
Yes, and that is running back Joseph Taylor, who got hurt during the Santa Monica game. He will be out tonight. He's been missing the past 3 games with that ankle injury. It's a tough uphill battle for them. Senior night, but they're pretty much out of playoff contention. So the fact that it is senior night, hopefully these seniors can go ahead and have a chip on their shoulder and play against a really big juggernaut against the Lawndale Cardinals. They wanted to go ahead and finish this season off undefeated. With Hawthorne, though, the thing about it is that the past 3 games, it's been really bad for them. They started the season 5-1, and they lost the last 3 games, and none of those games have been close whatsoever. Lawndale, covering this school the whole entire season, they've been blowing out their opponents nonstop, and this game could either go either way. It's either we can see the upset of the century or a typical Lawndale game.
That's right, and Jordan Wilmore, he's going to be ready to go as well tonight after taking, well, he laughed when I said, oh, you took last week off, did you? He didn't get his 100 or 200-yard game. But the first thing that Derwin Henderson told us when we came up to talk to him, the head coach of the Hawthorne Cougars, he said he didn't say hello. He didn't say anything about his team, didn't say anything about the Lawndale Cardinals. He said, we got a chance. If Rosemead loses and Santa Ana Valley loses, they're in the playoffs, and that's what it's all about. Football's coming up next on City TV.
Hi, I'm Donnell Beverly from the University of Connecticut, home of the 2011 National Championship UConn Huskies basketball team, and you're losing your Olympians.
Beverly around the back, follow-away jumper, good, beautiful shot.
It wasn't too long ago that I was playing basketball right here.
I just want to thank him for having me here. I'm honored to play here.
And the Huskies are the top dog in 2011.
Winning the NCAA championship has always been a goal of mine, but so is getting a great education that will last me a lifetime. You can achieve your goals too. All you have to do is work hard and dream hard, and you can do anything you put your mind to.
Back up inside of the press box at Halcap Field, along with Sebastian Spencer upstairs with me, and Darius Jackson downstairs covering both teams. I'm Lou Stowers, and let's go down to the 50-yard line where they're going to do the ceremonial coin toss. With referee James Brooks.
All right, gentlemen, just the way we just started, that's the way I want us to play the game, with good sportsmanship. We clear?
Yes, sir.
Once we kick it off, red's going to talk to red, white's going to talk to white. Anything else will be in a sportsmanlike manner. All right, we're on the same page?
Yes, sir.
All right, great. White, you guys are the visitors, Lawndale. Here's your coin, tails. That's heads. There you go. Okay, you got an actual head on it. I'll flip it and catch it. If I drop it, I'll flip it again. What's your call?
Tails.
Tails. Tails is the call. It is tails. Defer? Okay. That means you guys want the ball? Mm-hmm. Which way would you guys like to kick?
And we want to kick that way.
All right, then line up that way. Okay, white has won the toss and elected to defer. Red to receive. All right, gentlemen, shake hands again. Good luck to you.
Okay, so there you heard it. James Brooks, the referee for tonight's game, says that Lawndale did win the toss, but they deferred, which means that they will get the ball first in the second half, as per their usual. And so they will be defending the goal to our left, or the south goal. And Hawthorne, the home team, the Cougars, will be defending the goal to our right, the north goal. In a big game, but a big person in James Taylor III is not going to be playing tonight.
Yeah, you know what? They're definitely going to miss him tonight. Big player for this Hawthorne team. I mean, he is mostly their playmaker. I mean, so they're definitely going to have to make sure that it's a team effort tonight.
Number 14, Dolapo Abioro will be starting at running back, the 5'10", 210-pound junior. And also playing at running back will be number 5, Devon Houston. And he's a sophomore, 5'11" and 180. And that just tells me, Sebastian, that the experience of Lawndale and not losing a game, that gives them the edge tonight.
Yeah, you know what? They definitely have the edge coming into this game just because they have so many players that have played with each other for a long time. And, you know, this Hawthorne team, a lot of players just trying to mesh, but we'll see can they get it done tonight.
And ready to receive the ball to our right on the near side is Jeremiah Alima, number 1. And is that number 6 out there? If it's a number 6, I don't have his number. Can't really see who that is out there with the glare of the press box against the window. But Axel Perez, is it number 6? Or do we know?
Axel Perez.
Well, that's Axel Perez. I'm looking for the number of the kick returner on the far side.
Looks like, I guess we're going to find out right now.
Well, now we have a timeout or something going on as both teams clear the field.
That is number 5, Devon Houston.
Oh, okay. It's just going to apologize right now as we have a glare. We turned the lights off in this room, but in the next room, the glare really is affecting our view. So apologies in advance. So for some reason, both teams got pulled off of the field, and now the officials are conferring. You see them. So why don't we introduce them? James Brooks is the referee. Gerald Sams is the head linesman. The umpire is Lowell Charles. The line judge is Ron White. And the back judge is Chris Charles. So Lawndale coming off of a huge win last week. You saw it here. And that was a 55-0 trouncing of Beverly Hills, where Jordan Wilmore had 2 touchdowns and not quite 100 yards. I believe he had, he did have over 100 yards. Hawthorne lost 55-8 last week at El Segundo.
And it's funny, Jordan Wilmore only with 2 touchdowns, and you know, it's funny. Yeah, that's a down game for him. 2 touchdowns for any player would be a pretty good game, but what he's done this year, he set the bar so high as a running back that, you know, sometimes you look at that as him not performing his best if he only has 1 or 2 touchdowns.
That is for sure. And the 2 touchdowns that he ran for, the first one was 55 yards, and the second one was a 30-yard run. And then that was pretty much it for Wilmore that night. At 85 yards, and those are the only 2 carries he had.
And that's what he can do. I mean, he can fill it up. And, you know, this whole Lawndale team, they have a lot of guys that can do that. I mean, it's shown in the way that they've played so far this season. I mean, they are beating teams by an average of 39 points.
He has 1,520 yards on 115 carries, and that's an average of 13.2 yards a carry and over 200 yards per game, about 217 yards a game. So I'm just wondering if we should take a timeout or not while things are being straightened out, or maybe Darius can go over and find out what's going on. And we will take a timeout and wait for the kickoff coming up on City TV.
What's Beethoven's favorite fruit? Banana.
Back here at Halcap Field, everything is all taken care of, present and accounted for, and we're going to get things underway right now. Axel Perez is going to be kicking the ball off to Jeremiah Alima over to the near side, and Devon Houston to the far side. And here we go on senior night here in Hawthorne, and Perez kicks it out of the end zone. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Cougars at their own 20-yard line.
And there you see at the start of the game the power of that foot there by Perez, and that young man just kicks it right over the goalpost.
Now Darius, who is very social media savvy, watched Axel Perez tee it up in practice, warm-ups at the 50-yard line, and he struck it pretty well, and that made it through the goalpost, didn't it?
It
Between
did.
the goalposts.
It did. About a 55-yard field goal.
Yeah. Well, that 60 if it's from the 50-yard line. But it had enough for another 10 yards or so, it looked like.
Yeah, that kid can definitely kick the ball.
Got a passing play right off the bat. And the pass is complete to DeJuan Burden from Joshua Robledo.
That's a nice short route pass to get your offense going against this Lawndale team.
So a 6-yard gain. It's going to be 2nd down and 4 out of the eye in the shotgun. Running play, that's actually Robledo. Robledo gets the 1st down and then some. Robledo is putting the Jets on and goes into the end zone untouched. Touchdown, Hawthorne.
And a big-time play from Robledo. That's something we're not used to, seeing Lawndale getting scored on this early in the game.
Wow. What a beautiful fake to the running back by Josh. And he went right through the middle, or right around the right corner. Let's watch it.
Yeah, you see that fake as he goes out to the right side and he gets loose, and you see those feet start to pick up, and he is gone.
He outran a couple of speedsters out there, and Paolo Bailey and Mikhail Estes.
Sideline interference on the offense. Touchdown is good.
So Hawthorne, as you might imagine, was so excited that they get called for a penalty, which is going to be marked off on the kickoff. And Derwin Henderson trying to calm his Cougars down.
Yeah, tough to calm them down after a play like that against a team like Lawndale. I mean, you got to be pumped about that one, especially here on senior night.
74-yard run. So a 2-play drive that covered 74 yards in 54 seconds. Check that, 56 seconds. Now we're waiting for the extra point. Looks like they're going to go for 2.
Yeah, not really a kicking team, this Hawthorne team.
Their kicker is Sean Herrera, but they're going to go for 2 and grinding towards the end zone. And let's see. Nope. It is 2-point conversion's no good.
Yeah, no good on that conversion right there, but give Hawthorne credit for striking early against this Lawndale team, because you know Lawndale is going to come right back with a punch to the gut.
So Josh Robledo, as the 2-point try was handed off to Devon Houston.
And I'm sure that play really surprised Lawndale, just because with their star running back out, you know, they're going to pass the ball a lot tonight. And Robledo took advantage of the took advantage of the defense, and he made a play.
So Hawthorne gets nailed for that penalty. So the ball goes all the way back to the 25-yard line on the 15-yard penalty for sideline interference. Their Cougars are celebrating after that touchdown. And heck, why not? So Robledo in the rushing department, that's his 12th touchdown overall this season. So the receivers to the near side's Anthony Williams III. And to the near side is Jonathan Watson. A squib kick, and that's picked up by Esteen. Waiting for a hole, but now he just wants to outrun everybody and is rolled out of bounds at the 50-yard line. Derwin Henderson patting Esteen on the head.
Little chippiness on the sideline there between the players.
So there's a flag on the play. As they discuss it right in front of the Hawthorne bench. Esteen made it just past the 50-yard line, just on the Hawthorne side of the 50.
Personal foul, unnecessary roughness on White, be 15 yards. First down.
Well, there's a shot in the toe.
Start off the game with that penalty.
Just try it out now. See if you're going to talk there. Go ahead, talk.
All right.
Nope. Okay. So 15-yard penalty brings the Cardinals all the way back to the 35-yard line. On the holding call, you see James Brooks with the call. Now we can get things underway. Jalen Hamler out of the power I. Pitch goes to Wilmore. Wilmore gets a nice block from his fullback, Terrence Simon Jr., but only gets 5 yards. It'll be 2nd down and 5.
And that's a pretty good tackle there about Delapo.
Out of the power eye again, Terrence Simon Jr., the fullback. Jordan Wilmore gives it to Wilmore. Wilmore makes it into the secondary. Now has one man to beat and can't get him. He goes down the far sideline into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. So how about that, Sebastian? 2 plays on either side and a touchdown.
Yeah, like I said, big-time play by Jordan Wilmore. And I said, Hawthorne, get ready because this team is coming right back to punch you right in the gut. And that's exactly what they did going to Jordan Wilmore there. And we're going to get another look at this replay as a handoff. And Jordan bounces out to the left side, and it's good night. Houston tries to get a hand on him.
Albert Cobbin will take the hold for Alex Perez's extra point try, and that's high, true, and through. So with 10:09 left to go in the first quarter, it is 7-6 in favor of Lawndale. We've only had 4 plays total.
Yeah, and now that becomes the challenge for Hawthorne. If you're going to bring it on the offensive end, if you're playing against this team, you definitely have to play some defense as well.
"57 seconds was that drive, 60 yards in 2 plays. Jordan Wilmore with a 60-yard run. But then he's got a pretty good blocking fullback there in Terrence Simon Jr. There were Hawthorne players, Cougars were flying all over the place as Jordan Wilmore was waiting for his plowboys in front to make some hay. Perez kicks it high, and that's going to be a touchback. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Hawthorne at their own 20-yard line.
And expect Hawthorne to come out the same way that they came out at the beginning of the game. Just really aggressive and try to utilize that passing game. You know, even though this Lawndale team is really good in the secondary, I mean, they're good at almost every position on the field, but, you know, they have some really good defensive backs out there, especially Mikael Esteen, only a sophomore.
Pro set, 2 receivers on either side of Robledo. And the running back, Devon Houston. And a timeout taken.
Timeout. Hawthorne. First timeout.
So already not even 2 minutes into the game and our first timeout's taken. Glad you joined us on City TV Sports.
Yeah, I think Coach Henderson sensed early that his team was engaged with that first play, and he saw them doing something wrong in their plays on the offensive end, and he wants to talk to them early and let them know that, hey, you have a chance to win this game, and they're going to fight.
Well, there's also bragging rights on the campuses and on the streets.
Yeah, definitely. So many of these kids go to the same middle school and elementary school in this area.
Yeah, you'd know something about that.
Hometown.
Robledo out of the shotgun. Keeps his running back here. Now throws it long and through short. And Mikael Esteen with the interception. Going towards the end zone and into the end zone. Touchdown Lawndale on a pick 6 by Mikael Esteen.
That's exactly what I just talked about. Mikael Esteen, only a sophomore, as he runs all the way to the other side of the end zone, and he's still going, but that's a big-time play by a very young player who is very heady out there. And you look right here, he stays back on his assignment, and it comes right to him.
I'm going to say that's about a 25-yard interception return. And Axel Perez on to kick it out of the hold of Albert Cobbin. Kick is up and good. So after the pick six at 9:57, it is now 14-6.
Get another look at that interception as McHale is.
That's a 30-yard return, we're going to call that. How about that?
Yeah, it looks like it was about 30.
Just doing some paperwork here. As now Axel Perez looking to kick the ball off and make it 3 for 3 as far as getting it out of the end zone.
It looks like.
Yep, that's about 5 yards into the end zone. So it'll be a touchback again. With 9:57 left to go in the first quarter.
Once again from the 20-yard line, looking to even up the game.
And you know, last week, Lou, Coach Clark talked about the importance of Perez and the fact that he puts teams in a position to take the ball so far down the field. And, you know, Coach Clark talked about that. He says, you know, going 90 or 85 yards, that's a lot for a high school team to start their plays on.
Sure is. One man in the backfield and an H-back on the near side for an extra blocker, but that's Naki Fahina. And his big self making the tackle. One of the best tacklers in the South Bay, let alone the Lawndale Cardinals. So Devon Houston was the victim.
Fahina with a nice tackle there, and that looks like it could have been a fumble, but it was ruled down.
So 2 yards on the loss, is second down and 12, and look out. Oh my goodness.
Big time play by Daniel.
By who?
Oh no, that's number 8, excuse me, that's Nate Davis.
So that loss goes inside the 10-yard line to about the 5.
You see Nate read that play perfectly, and he takes him down right there.
So now it's third down and a whole lot. Gonna say that's okay, so so 13 yards on the loss. Pass over the middle, and another heavy rush as Robledo was in his own end zone. That's going to be fourth down and 25.
And you can see those linebackers in the middle are definitely locking in right now, and this Lawndale team smells blood after that first interception that they had.
The punter is in the back of the end zone now. Jeremiah Alima is going to be punting the ball. His first punt was off to the left, and now we have another timeout taken by Hawthorne.
Timeout.
As they're trying to figure out what to do.
Second timeout.
And that's their second timeout.
And we've only been here for 3 minutes and 33 seconds.
I don't want to hear about it.
So Derwin Henderson teaching his young Cougars to make sure they know what the play is, to be on the same page.
Coach Henderson, he has a great understanding of the game, and that's a great coach to learn from. I mean, he spent a lot of his time coaching, with Coach Tolliver all those years at Lusinger as an offensive coordinator. So he's a guy that you want to listen to if you're a lot of these young guys on Hawthorne.
I don't know if you heard it, but before they switched out to a different angle, Coach Henderson said, have fun. And that's pretty much what this Hawthorne team needs to do, is just loosen up and have fun.
Yeah, sure. You know, your last home game, possibly. And, you know, you're playing against a team who is just a giant to try to take down.
A bulldozer.
Yes, but you started off good. So, I mean, you have something to build on there.
So 8:20 left to go in the first quarter. And Lawndale's looking pretty after the short kick at the 10-yard line of Hawthorne. Split to the near side is Ryan Wells for the Cardinals. Out of the power I, and I mean power, Terrence Simon at the fullback. Wilmore gets the handoff, and good defense by the Cougars wraps up Wilmore for a loss of about 5 yards, 6 yards. So good play by the Cougar defense.
Yeah, they read that play. You got to know it's going to Jordan Wilmore that short of a field, and that's just a big-time play.
That's probably the longest run for a loss, 6 yards this year, maybe in his career, for Jordan Wilmore.
Yeah, you see Jordan, he tried to get away and run backwards. No matter how good a running back, you never want to see him go backwards, but he tried to do that on that play, didn't get away.
Out of the eye, two receivers to the far side. Jalen Hamler gets away from one tackler, gets the yardage back, and bangs his way down to the 5-yard line.
And that's just a testament of what Jalen Hamler can do. He's a really good quarterback in the pocket, but he can hurt you with his feet as well, as you see right here. He tries to take a player with him. That's some guts there. You putting your head in there as a quarterback.
So a 10-yard gain by Hamler at the 6-yard line. And now Terrence Simon Jr., he is the tailback with Nate Davis as the fullback who gets the ball. And the not-so-major appliance bulls his way into the end zone. Touchdown Lawndale and Terrence Simon Jr.
Man, Terrence Simon Jr., a big kid that can stuff it in there when you need him to, and he's huge, man. I mean, 6 feet, 225 pounds. How can you stop that? As you see right here, everybody sort of just moves out this kid's way, and if you're in his way, he's going to take you down with him.
That's for sure. But look at that block there by number 58. Don't have his name on my roster for Lawndale.
58.
He is John Robert Sunia. That's who he is.
Yeah, that's a great block by Mr. Sunia there.
Also Damian Gutierrez as Alex Perez tacks on the extra point. And it's 21-6 with 6:36 left to go.
Now, if you're Hawthorne, you're on the sideline starting to feel discouraged already. I mean, but you can't. You know, and like you talked about earlier, Coach talked about going out there having fun. As you see Coach Henderson still talking to his guys right now. He is upset with them. But you have to remain the course of the game and can't play timid against this Lawndale team. And, you know, that's what they do to a lot of teams. They bully teams, and they take you out the game mentally.
They sure do, as Perez's kick this time lands pretty much in the same spot. So it'll be 1st and 10 for Hawthorne at their 20-yard line. With 6:38 left to go.
so far here from Lawndale. They're getting it done. They're letting everybody get some of that love today. I mean, 3 different players already scored. You know, Robledo started it off with his early 75-yard run. Let's see, can Hawthorne build on that?
Terrence Simon Jr. with a 6-yard run, capped off a 10-yard drive in 3 plays in 1:42. The PAT was good by Perez. And another timeout.
Delay a game. Offense.
Oh, delay a game,
5
excuse
yards.
me.
Still first down.
Back judge Chris Charles with the flag. And
all right, so we're going to go ahead and look at a play here from Lawndale. And this is that play right there. And this is where it started off here for Mikael Esteen for that pick 6. And, you know, that's what got it started for them. And then you see this big play by Fahina right there, and that looks like a fumble, and it was picked up. That play, and then another big-time play there by Nate Davis. I mean, they're starting this game off tremendously on the defensive end.
well, they sure are. That was a penalty, a delay of game penalty. So it's 1st and 15 now for Hawthorne. Pitch goes back, and a nice run by Houston.
Yeah, and while losing your running back, you throw Houston back there as a running back. As you see this play, he gets some nice yardage pick up right there as he fights for the yards, but they're going to need a lot more of that.
4 yards on the gain. And it'll be check that, 2nd down and 11. Pitch goes back to Houston again, right up the middle, getting a little more yardage, just past the original line of scrimmage, and it'll be 3rd down and long. We're going to call it 3rd and 7.
And, you know, with Hawthorne, you see them going to these draw plays now with Houston, and definitely trying to get something going on the offensive end, because now they know that these defensive backs can pick off the ball at any time, so you want to run the game.
DeKalen Potts coming in at one of the guard position. Play fake and the option play, and that's a loss for Robledo. So it's going to be 4th down and long.
As you see, Robledo tries to make some plays with his feet again and comes up short this time. That's a really good tackle there by Paolo Bailey.
So the ball is back at the 16-yard line, 4th down and 14 after the 10-yard loss. And now we have a penalty on Hawthorne that might be lining up in the neutral zone.
You can hear Coach Henderson yelling at his guys, telling them, what are you doing? It's a discipline thing, and he's exactly right.
On the offense, 5 yards, still 4th down.
So it's going to be 4th down and 20 now.
And yeah, Devontae Wardle got a little jumpy on that play right there.
And they have to go for it because their kicking game is pretty much non-existent. Or Robledo can kick it with a quick kick and a Hawthorne bounce. And the ball is dead at the 39-yard line of Hawthorne, so at least it's not the 10-yard line for the Cardinals to start off. With 4:01 left to go in the first quarter, it is 21-6.
First touching. First down.
And you know, Lou, that's another thing why Lawndale is so successful. You know, a lot of the times in high school football, it's hard to find good kickers, but a lot of the teams they face don't have good kickers, and you high-octane offense starting off at the 40 or 30-yard line.
Hamler hands the ball off. Wilmore runs out of bounds. And that's at about the 25-yard line, so it should be a first down.
And if you're looking at this replay here, Jordan Wilmore, if you've never seen him, that stiff arm, that's just what he does as he tells that man sit down as he goes to the outside.
So from the 25-yard line, Lawndale will get things going. Seoni Tai, Tui Tuopu Nanu is Robert Crew Fafita, along with Keon Pinkston. That's the starting offensive line.
Pinkston, another big player.
We have a timeout. Lawndale.
So Lawndale takes their first timeout.
First timeout.
And we're still in the first quarter.
Coach is trying to talk it over early today.
I think we've already gone into the freshman year, but it's on real time. It's only been a half an hour since kickoff, but it seems like a real long quarter.
It definitely does. With 3 minutes and 53 seconds left to go, I mean, it's been a lot that's happened in this quarter so far.
Cardinals looking good in their white uniform tops, red pants, white socks, and the black helmets. And Hawthorne in their red uniforms with the black numbers and gold trim. Hamler looks to the left and wants to go on the timing pattern into the end zone. It's caught for the touchdown.
Yeah, he drops that, actually.
Oh, did he drop it?
He did.
Man.
He had a hold of it, and Blackman dropped it at the last minute. And we got a replay of that right here. You see he turns around, catches it, and it's never in full possession, and he drops it right there. I'll tell you, Blackman wishes he can have that one back. That's a really good pass right there by Jalen Hamler.
Sure was. Hamler hands the ball off this time to Wilmore, trying to get around the corner, but a good defensive play back at around the 23-yard line. And it was Delapo Brio. Abioro, made the nice tackle.
And Delapo is another player for Hawthorne that's really going to be the key on their defensive end. I mean, he's a really good player. Always plays hard for this team every game.
3rd down and 4 from the 18-yard line. Man in motion, ball given to Wilmore on the other side, makes a move, and a nice open field tackle. And that was by Maynard Alvarez. But that's a first down for Hawthorne.
And this is how you're going to keep yourself in the game, little plays by little, and that's just a great open field tackle. And if you can minimize this Lawndale team to kicking or turning it over, you know, you'll have an opportunity. But it looks like they're going to go for it.
Hamler hands the ball off to Simon. Simon says, I'm going to run you over to about the 4-yard line. So it's second down and about 2, and they can still get a first down inside the 5-yard line.
You see that replay there. Simon Jr., big kid, too much to handle on the inside for Hawthorne.
Ball goes to Nate Davis. Davis grinding his way to the end zone, and that's going to be a touchdown, Lawndale.
And I tell you what, Nate Davis went in there and he banged. I mean, knocked 2 Cougars on there behind. As he went in, we're going to get a look at this replay as Handler hands it all to him and knocks 1, knocks 2, and maybe 3 on that play, it looks like. Yep, 1, 2, 3.
And throwing a couple more just for good measure.
There you go. A couple of guys getting up saying, what just happened? You just got hit by a train.
The number 8 train.
The 8 train. That's a good one.
Snap into Cobbin. The kick is up, and it is good. With 1:37 left to go in the first quarter, it's a 28-6 lead for the Lawndale Cardinals over Hawthorne. Six-play drive, capped off by Nate Davis's 4-yard run, and that took 3.5 minutes. Perez getting ready to kick it off. Has been pretty much Mr. Automatic out there as they're waiting for Jeremiah Alima to get into position. He is set to receive the ball if it comes to him on the far side, and this one goes into the end zone, pretty much the same spot.
Another kick on the inside of that end zone for Hawthorne. They'll take over at the 20.
This is the 5th possession for Hawthorne here in the quarter, and they've all started from the 20-yard line. Houston comes in at running back for the Cougars, and he'll be next to Josh Robledo. And a timeout taken by Hawthorne. That's their final timeout of the half. And we still have a minute 37 left to go in the first quarter.
Wow, Henderson uses every timeout he could possibly in this first quarter here. I guess he just really saw a lot of things that he did not like from his team. As we get a look at Coach Henderson. And Lou, like I talked about earlier, I mean, we're still seeing a nice sharing of the ball here. I mean, Jordan Wilmore with the touchdown, Mikael Esteen, Terrence Simon, Nate Davis.
That's right.
Is it one more player that scored?
No, I think you got it. We got Hawthorne had a score, and then it's been all 4 touchdowns, unanswered touchdowns by Lawndale, all different guys. Out of the shotgun is Robledo. In motion is Houston. Fakes the handoff, throws it to the other side, and it's not a catch, it's an incomplete pass. But good defense over there by Jonathan Watson.
Nice throw by Robledo.
Yeah, Watson is another guy on the defensive end who is a really speedy guy, and he can get it done. As you see, he gets his hand in there and makes a defensive play. You know, kind of tough for Hawthorne to get something going, running the ball against this team or even making a pass. You wouldn't be surprised if we saw a couple short screen plays or something like that to get a few of those speedy guys that they have involved.
Well, that's a second ball that should have been caught. It was certainly in the area, that's for sure. Robledo back to pass and then overthrows this one. Alima was the intended receiver, and Watson on the coverage. Well, running the ball hasn't worked for Hawthorne, so now they're going to try.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards. Results in a first down.
Well, Alima pleaded his case and got it. Jonathan Watson hit Jeremiah Alima. If you guys still have that replay of the last play. But it sure looked like the ball had already passed the receiver and the defender.
It did. I think he probably got a hand on him before it even went out. But it's a nice break for the Hawthorne Cougars. I mean, you go down the field, you get about 10 yards on that play.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30-yard line. Out of the shotgun again, pro set. This time the handoff goes to Houston. Houston being met, and a nice open field tackle by Mikael Esteen.
That's a really good tackle by Mikael Esteen. It stopped him from getting some yards on the outside there, as we're going to look at a replay right here. Mikael Esteen comes right at the legs and gets him. And this is a kid that Lawndale is very high on.
7 yards on the run. So it'll be 2nd down. We'll check that. It was 3 yards on the run from the 35. And now Robledo pumps, and Nate Davis is gobbling him up, and Fahina's there for the leftovers, along with Terrence Simon Jr. So that's going to be a huge loss.
And you see the replay right here. It's tough to get something going when you got big guys on the inside like that have just as much speed as some of their running backs.
All the way back to the 20-yard line, the original line of scrimmage. So they're going to have to get to the 45-yard line after that 15-yard pass interference penalty. And that's going to be the last play of the first quarter. So going to switch sides. It's 28-6 in favor of Hawthorne, or check that, in favor of Lawndale over Hawthorne. We'll see if Hawthorne can turn lemons into lemonade here in the second quarter.
Yeah, they definitely have to do that if they're going to have a shot. I mean, in that first quarter, you know, Robledo started off well with the big run, and even Jordan Wilmore, even after he scored, it still seemed like Hawthorne was in the game. But I tell you, their confidence went down after Mikael Esteen got that pick six to the house, and I feel like that was a turning point in the first quarter that led with 2 more touchdowns from 2 different guys. So they have to go out there with the mindset that, hey, we don't have anything to lose.
And just have fun.
Yeah, and that's it. Just have fun. You know, your playoff spot doesn't require you to win here, but you still want to win and play hard because it's senior night.
And you got all your good buddies over there, too. It was nice to see some of the JV and freshman team down there as well tonight on the sideline for the Cougars. Trying to get some of that varsity taste of how it is to play on Friday nights for the varsity. Derwin Henderson bringing that winning style here to Hawthorne. Robledo hands the ball off to Houston, trying to get some yardage back, and gets up to about the 23-yard line. So a 3-yard gain for Devon.
Hard caught by Houston. That'll be 4th and long for the Cougars.
So they have to get to the 45-yard line. Excuse me, Sebastian.
No, you're fine.
Oh, thank you. So it's 4th down and 22.
4th and 22. We got a long way to go here.
Robledo with the pooch kick takes a Lawndale bounce and down right at the 50-yard line. Let's go down to Darius.
Thanks, guys, and I hope you're staying warm up there, by the way. Look, standing here on the Hawthorne Cougars sideline, after their shockingly 6-0 early lead from the Cougars against the Cardinals, Coach Henderson seemed to emphasize and told his team to calm down and not get too excited, not get filled with emotions. They need to stay calm and disciplined. Turned out they couldn't stay calm and disciplined. They used most of their timeouts, if not all 3 timeouts in the first quarter. Penalties and also players talking back and forth with the coaches here on the sideline. And we know going against this Cardinals team, you can't do that. Back to you.
All right, thank you, Darius. Yeah, you're not going to get anywhere talking back to the coaches as Jalen Hamler looks to tack on another pass completion, but Blackman can't hang on to it because he had one of the Cougars all over him. That was Devon Houston.
And Darius is right. I mean, when you're already, as we get a look at the replay here, as Houston makes a great play on the ball, you're already at a disadvantage when you play a team like Lawndale because of their talent and their speed and their size. And you can't be arguing with the coach on the sideline thinking that's going to help.
He's there for a reason, or they are there for a reason. Wilmore waiting for the hole to open up, and it does, and has to avoid Lowell Charles and gets close to first down yardage. And they're going to give it to him at the 40-yard line.
Jordan Wilmore, you see those quick feet.
So a 10-yard gain, 1st and 10 for the Cardinals at the Hawthorne 40-yard line. Pro set now for Lawndale. Blackman gets the reverse on the as he was in motion. Blackman with a nice little stiff arm gets out of bounds at about the 35.
Yeah, that's a good play. You see they send Blackman in motion, and he makes a nice juke right there so he can get a few extra yards. Stiff arm right there, and ends up right in front of the Cougars bench.
So 2nd down and 5. Wilmore with 7 carries on the night and 1 touchdown, 1 for 60 yards. Getting close to 100 yards as the line judge threw that one up. Ron White. Someone lined up offside. Might have been the wide receiver on this near side, Ryan Wells. So it goes back to the 40. 3rd penalty on the night for Lawndale for 30 yards. Hamler back to pass, waits, looks, right across the middle. It is caught by Joshua Pittman.
And that's a beautiful throw down the field by Jalen Hamler as he keeps his eyes open. to Josh Pittman.
First and 10 from the 13.
So 28 yards on the catch. That's the first complete. Is that the first completion? At least according to my books, it is. The first completion.
For the Cardinals, I believe it is.
Wilmore to the left of Hamler, and he goes right over a big hole and just walks into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. A 12-yard run for Jordan Wilmore, and that's his second one on the night.
Yeah, another good play there by Jordan Wilmore. Just using that vision, making sure he hits the hole, and you know his offense allows him to do so much, and Jordan takes advantage.
I mean, that wasn't just a little hole. I mean, I could see it from up here, how big it was. You could have driven my truck through there.
Oh, yeah. I mean, that's what that Lawndale offense will do for you.
Could have driven the new City TV sports vehicle through there. PAT is good with 9:07 left to go in the second quarter. It is 35-6 in favor of the Cougars on City TV on senior night. So 12-yard run for Jordan Wilmore, his second touchdown of the night at 9:07. So 2 minutes exactly on the drive. 50 yards on the drive. Six plays. And that will put Jordan Wilmore over the 100-yard mark. He's also accounted for 3 first downs as the kick is now bombing and making dents in the south side of the end zone.
Yeah, we're early here in the second quarter, and, you know, Lawndale is pretty much on their average of what they usually beat teams by. You know, we talked about that earlier, 39 points on average, and they're winning right now by, you know, pretty much close to that. So best hope for Hawthorne right now is to just try to get something going on the offensive end and hope you can stop this team.
From under center, the pitch. Oh, my goodness, what a hit. But, man, how did Houston get out of that? The initial hit was by Tui Puloto. And somehow he stayed conscious and got out of that.
Yeah, Houston's a tough kid, and he got out of that play. I mean, it was tough to see how. We're going to find out right now. You see big head up hit, and he tries to take him down, and
finally it was wrapped up by Nikhil Esteen.
Yeah, and that's why coaches always teach proper form when you're tackling. You know, you're just trying to bring him down by the jersey. It's not going to work.
Another pitch back to Houston, and he gets loose to the 50-yard line and down to the 45-yard line, inside the 45-yard line, and Esteen is hurt. But he gets up, but not before a big run by Devon Houston.
You see on this replay right here, Houston finds that hole, and he makes the best out of it.
"29 yards on the run, down to the 41-yard line. Pitch gets it again, and the hole closes in a hurry this time. You can hear that crack of the plastic all the way up here. Getting up off the bottom of the pile. Sorry, it was Paulo Bailey.
And that's one thing this Hawthorne Cougar team has done all year. They run the ball pretty aggressively. I mean, you know, they're like we talked about. They have a few guys that they run on that offense when they want to run the ball, and that's what they're going to do tonight. It looks like they're going to pound it in the inside.
Luis Lovera, the center, brings him out. Looks like a double wing formation there. Or a wing T, I should say, formation. Both of the wings were over on the left side.
And you see that bad snap right there.
Still made the handoff, though, so good hands by Robledo. They get a yard out of it. So it's 3rd down and 9. It's your double wing formation. Robledo trying to go up the middle and does. He has to get down to the 30-yard line. Let's see where they are. Is he still going? No, he was down back at the 31. But Robledo doing the right thing and kept on going.
Yeah, and that's what you have to do.
That's Joshua Devontae Wartell, excuse me.
Yeah, Wartell did a great thing right there. If the referee doesn't say anything, you keep playing. I mean, and you can't leave anything out there on the floor. As you see, they go for the tackle right there, but I don't know if he was ever down.
Naki Fahina ripped it. Looks like he wasn't down.
Yeah.
So it's down to the 31-yard line, though. It's a 1st down. So we'll give Robledo 10 yards. They say he was down on the double wing formation. Back to passes Robledo, and he gets out of one tackle. Look out. He gets planted by Keon Pinkston, who always plays hungry.
Yeah, Pinkston is one of those guys you can just not escape. And, you know, he has some size on him, but he also has some speed. And that's one of the great things about Pinkston and a lot of these guys that they have on the defensive end. They come after you.
So a loss all the way back to the 40-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 20. Coming off the field is Dolapo Abioro. Lawndale defense is tight up next to the line, and another loss on the play.
Houston making up some of that yardage.
Houston with a loss on the play of a yard, back to the 41.
You know, in this type of running style offense that they're doing right now, this definitely slows down the game a lot more and doesn't allow Lawndale to keep getting the ball back when you keep throwing the ball and keep making mistakes.
More of a pro set, but then Damian Reynoso was plowing halfway up to the airport.
Dead ball. False start. Offense.
So they're going to go back 5 more yards to the 46.
You see this quarter is going by really fast. 4 minutes and 16 seconds left.
3rd and 25 for Hawthorne.
You get a look at that false start right there on the Hawthorne player.
Reynoso throws it over the middle, and it's picked off. Picked off, I believe, by Paolo Bailey. Bailey turning on the Jets, spins around, gets out of a tackle, tries to spin around again, and finally is spun into the ground inside the 30-yard line. That's Cobbin. That's Albert Cobbin.
Yeah, big time play by Cobbin, keeping his head up and making sure you know where the ball is. And he kept his eyes on the receiver, and he comes up with it. A tough play there as we get a look at the replay. Robledo with a nice throw. It's just not caught.
So going to call that. It was caught at the 27. And we'll do the math.
Devontae Wardle was covered pretty good on that play.
45-yard return. Robledo, check that. That's Hamler back to pass and trying to get it to Cobbin to complete the touchdown, but just over his hands and out of bounds. It'll be 2nd and 10.
Yeah, a little too much on that one for Cobbin, but Jalen Hamler with another nice throw, and that one is just a little over his man.
So the only completion by Hamler was 28 yards. Let's see if he can do it again. Let's see if Cobbin is out there. Don't see on the far side. It's Joshua Barbarin. Hamler throws it across the middle to Barbarin, but he just dropped it.
Another quick pass, and that'll be 3rd long. He's making a stand.
And if you're Barbarin, you look at the replay right here, that is the type of pass that you want. In stride, going towards the end zone. You got to make a play on that one.
He might have been looking for greener pastures as the ball was coming towards him, but now Cobbin is back in the ball game, split wide to the far side. Trips bunched up to the near side. And a bad snap, and Hamler just has to eat it. So it's going to be 4th down and long after Nick Robledo makes the sack.
If you look at that replay, Hamler was talking while he was receiving that snap, and that's probably what caused him to jump on that one so quickly.
So an 8-yard loss back to the 36. Three minutes and counting left to go in the first half. Wells, Williams, and Blackman to the near side. Hamler looks to the right side, wants to get that timing pattern again, and that's going to be a pass interference call on Elima. Cobbin, the intended receiver.
Definitely some dirty laundry out there on the field for Hawthorne, and Elima does not like that play. Yeah, you see Jordan Wilmore escapes that hit, but you see Cobbin being held down there.
Lawndale will get another shot on 4th down off the penalties, and it'll be 4th and 5 from the 35.
Pass interference on the defense, 15 yards.
So it should be short of a first down of a 15-yard penalty. That'll put him at the 20-yard line.
All right.
But it'll be 4th and 1.
That's going to definitely put the Cougars in the position they want to be in.
Well, they're going to give him the first down.
I mean, the Cardinals, excuse me.
Okay, they gave him the first down. I thought it had another yard to go. Or is it an automatic first down? We'll have to check that. Same formation, 3 receivers, split to the far side, and there goes Wilmore that way. Hamler gets the snap and goes right into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals!
Jalen Hamler with his first touchdown of the day.
So Hamler with his first touchdown of the night makes it 41-6. There you see him.
Hamler with the quarterback keep as he goes in for his first touchdown of the game.
And Alex Perez looking to tack on his 6th of the game. Extra point, that is. High snap, Cobbin grabs it, and it is good. 2:32 left to go in the first half. 42-6 in favor of Lawndale over the Cougars here at Halcap Field. All right. So a minute and 11 seconds. On a 28-yard drive. Four plays.
And Houston set to receive it in the backfield. Well, there's not going to be any receiving on that one.
That was out of the end zone. So another 1st and 10 for Hawthorne from their own 20. So the interception hurts the Cougars. And another short field for Lawndale. As they score their sixth touchdown of the night. And Robledo has a running back with him, and he's going to keep it as well on the bootleg. Slips and falls, or he would have had at least another 5 yards. But it's going to be 2nd down and short.
And Robledo.
Is he okay?
Looks like he probably hurt it. Looks like grabbing his ankle on that play, but
let's hope it's just a cramp. I mean, it's been cool all day. Yep. Well, I'm not going to say yep. I'm not a doctor. So they'll be working on his right leg.
And even if it's for a short period of time, it's just a tough loss for them right now. I mean, it's the only player that's really kind of got something going on their offensive end other than Houston, as you see him barrel down into that grass on the sideline.
If it isn't a cramp, they don't feel good, that's for sure.
Definitely not.
Devon Houston will take over the quarterback chores. With 1:57 left to go in the half. Handoff straight up the middle. And Naki Fahina, amongst others, take Dolapo Brioro and throw him back a few yards. But they give him forward progress, he said in English, back to the line of scrimmage. Now there's no timeouts left. Clock is running with 1:20 left to go in the half, and the clock should be running anyway for the rest of the game. You see Fahina. Houston hands the ball off to Brioro. And a yard on the play, and let's see if they're going to give him the first down.
Forward for a 5-yard gain, 3rd down.
Should be a first down.
Grabs that 4th down short.
Well, I think Hawthorne should ask for a measurement.
Yeah, Houston going back in that
Okay,
game.
they're going to give Hawthorne the first down. That's the most important thing right now. Well, besides the health of Robledo.
Yeah, Robledo's walking on the sidelines, and I'm probably going to keep him out until the second half.
Houston running the ball and loses a couple. And that's going to do it for the half, and Hawthorne can't wait to get off the sideline. I'm sorry, I don't mean to laugh at that, but they just took off.
Yeah, they want to go to the locker room and try to regroup and figure out what can they do in this second half. I mean, you know, it's going to be a – and we'll go ahead and send it down to Darius.
Hey, thanks, guys. An injury update on Joshua Robledo, the quarterback for Hawthorne Cougars. It was a right calf cramp. There is a big significant knot that you could see. It was visible from my eyes. He was definitely aching in some pain. They were stretching it out on the sideline. He should be good to go, in the second half. Right now he's hydrating on the sideline, and he's going to be hydrating throughout halftime. Back to you.
All right, thank you very much, Darius. And why don't we take a timeout on senior night, where the Cardinals lead the Cougars 42-6.
Testing. Why did the girl ask the mushroom to dance? Because he was a fun guy.
Back here at Howcap Field on senior night, 42-6 is the score. Lawndale in the lead over Hawthorne's Cougars. And let's go down to Darius with a very special guest.
Hey, thanks, guys. Obviously, the game's not going according to plan for the Hawthorne Cougars, and that may be due in large part without one of their star running backs, Joseph Taylor, as they are missing his presence out there on the field. Joseph, how tough is it right now to sit on the sideline and watching your team struggle?
It's very tough. You know, I wish I was out there with my team, and it's hard looking at this game right now.
Now, going through adversity, you're right now dealing with an ankle injury. What is it to be exact?
I tore a ligament in my ankle. So, I've been having this cast on for the 2 weeks, so I'm basically out the rest of the season. And, yeah, it hurt.
Do you see this as motivation to go ahead and bounce back for your next year? Because you're not done yet. You're only a junior, so you got your senior year. You got all offseason to go ahead and get ready. So do you see this as motivation?
Of course. I'm just ready to get back. Or this whole offseason, it's going to be a big grind because I'm ready to get back for next season, my senior season. I'm ready to work out and get bigger and get faster for next season. It's all motivation. This ankle injury it's not going to hold me back. I'm only motivated more.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're looking forward to seeing you. We were hoping we would go ahead and see you today with two great running backs. Got Jordan Wilmore on the sideline. We were hoping to see a Joseph Taylor versus Jordan Wilmore show. I'll tell you what, though, when that ankle is 100%, let me know so we can have a 40-yard dash out there on the field.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I got you.
Thanks, guys. Back to you.
My money's already going on James Taylor III, I tell you. He is fast. He's one of those water bug types that we see from the area so often, and love to watch those guys go in and out of the lines, and boom, there they go. And really miss Joseph Taylor III out there.
Yeah, he's a great player, and the one thing that he has going great for him is that he's going to be a senior next year.
That's right, and hopefully everything in the rehab goes well and everything mends properly as well. Speaking of rushing, let's go to some of the stats as the Cougars are getting ready to kick things off for the second half. Jordan Wilmore, 8 carries, 88 yards, and 2 touchdowns. And Devon Houston, 10 carries and 52 yards. Robledo with 6 carries and 20 yards nets, and he had a touchdown. Jaden Hamler with 4 carries, 30 yards, and a touchdown. And in the passing department, Hamler was 1 out of 5 for 28 yards, and that was to Pittman. And Robledo, one reception for 5 yards, 1 out of 5, I should say, for 6 yards. And that pass was completed to DeJuan Burden. And Robledo was picked off twice and one for a pick six. So we're all caught up. And let's get this third quarter rolling on senior night. Squib kick gets beyond the 30-yard line. Wilmore picks it up at the 25. A missed tackle, and Wilmore gets up to the 40-yard line, up towards the 50, comes back the other way. That kid is something special. To the 30, to the 20, to the 10, 5, touchdown Lawndale.
And that's a big-time play by Jordan Wilmore there. I mean, you saw it as soon as he caught the ball, he wanted to make a play. And he went across the field, came right back across again, and a touchdown for Jordan Wilmore once again. That's his third on the night.
The hat trick in the third quarter just to start things off there at the 25-yard line.
You see he bounces out to the left side of the field. Then he comes right across, gets a couple blocks there, and he is off to the races. I mean, that's prime time Jordan Wilmore right there.
Certainly is. And he had a couple of mates with him in Ryan Wells and Jonathan Watson. And Alex Perez out of the hold of Albert Cobbin kicks the extra points. So 16 seconds ticked off the clock. And a 65-yard touchdown return, kickoff return I should say, for Jordan Wilmore with the hat trick. And the extra point was good. And that makes it 49-6.
In a 43-point game here for Lawndale leading. Also wasn't able to get any scores on that Rosemed and Santa Ana Valley game yet. Those scores have not been posted, so we'll keep you posted on those when we get them.
Okay. So Alex Perez looking to kick things off. 49-6. The clock has not started to fully run yet. Perez is 7 out of 7 in extra points, and he's also 7 out of 7 in, or should be 8 out of 8, I should say, for kickoffs into the end zone.
Yeah, Perez is putting his foot out there into that ball. I mean, he's kicking it to Imperial.
Right there. Imperial and Inglewood. Well, wait a minute. Imperial and Inglewood one parallel. So it'll be first and 10 for the. So it'll be first and 10 for the Cougars at their own 20-yard line. So it'll be first and 10. Another double wing formation. Ball is pitched back to the running back. Devon Houston.
You see on this, the replay right here, Devon Houston tries to push it up the middle and get a few yards, and he is kind of one of the few hopes for this Cougar team today.
So 1 yard for Houston. Robledo is back in the lineup, and that's the good news. Joshua shaking off that cramp. And the trainer did tell Darius Jackson that it was definitely a cramp. So tight double wing formation. Robledo keeps the ball. Robledo is going to get close to the first down. Let's see where they mark it. Just inside the 30-yard line. So it'll be third down and short.
Well, Robledo lets us know he's okay right away. I mean, that calf looks good to me, as you see here on the replay, as he picks up a few yards on the play.
Some positive yardage and some positive news for Josh. Just a power run, straightforward, but then there's some power defense as Naki Fahina, along with Robert Crew Fafita, are in the tackle. And they give the forward progress back to the line of scrimmage. So it'll be 4th down and 1. As Derwin Henderson is putting some linemen in the 3rd quarter as eligible, but now they go into a pro set. And the ball is dropped. Robledo tried to hand it off to Houston, but he didn't know it was there, and it was picked up by Paolo Bailey. And that was a 4th down play anyway. But it appeared that if Houston had had the ball, he might have gotten the 1st down. But instead, it's 1st and 10 Lawndale within striking distance on the first play at the 31-yard line of Hawthorne.
Yeah, we get a look at this on the replay again, and just a miscommunication between Robledo and I think that was...
That Houston?
Houston on that play, yes, it was Houston. Miscommunication on that play and dropped the ball, and now you got the Cougars on the defensive end.
And now getting the ball is Terrence Simon Jr. Terrence running over everybody and doesn't stop until he runs into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. And Terrence Simon Jr. with a 34-yard run. Or check that, a 31-yard run.
Another big-time play by Terrence Simon Jr.
Now, you got to watch this. This is not human. There's Fafita with the block, and there goes Simon in the background. People are just shedding off of him, and Lima hits him, and Simon probably hurt him on the way into the end zone.
And that is a big weapon as the snap goes over Perez's head.
It went over Cobbin's head, that's for sure, the holder, and then it was just a race to see if they could get it down. So and now we have a player down. Watch that go over Cobbin. And we have a player down near the 5-yard line for Hawthorne. And let's hope that's another cramp. Can't really see who that is.
Yeah, can't see his number right now, but he is definitely in pain as the trainers continue to look at him.
So Terrence Simon, the junior, with the touchdown, and that's Luis Lovera. Special teams and offensive lineman and sometimes center for the Hawthorne Cougars.
Yeah, definitely hope he's okay. Swiss Army knife type of player for the Cougars.
A little bit of everything. So 31-yard run for Simon. That took all of 10 seconds for the bull in the china closet. The PAT was no good, so the score is 55-6. And Perez getting ready to kick it off after the one-play drive. And this one goes into the end zone again.
And Lou, you talk about this score. This is going to be the second time this year Lawndale has put up over 50 points, and they also put up 60 and over twice as well. I'll say that they have a chance to do that again too.
Well, Hawthorne has said no to a running clock because they have the option of saying yes or no to a running clock. 8:56 left to go in the third quarter on senior night.
Yeah, I don't blame them. I mean, running clock on senior night, you want to give these guys as many opportunities as you can. It could possibly be their last game at Hawk Cap, so why not?
Absolutely. So second touchdown of the night for Simon Jr. Running into his spot is Alexander Garcia. Two offensive linemen are eligible, being there as extra blockers. Damarin Whitman, number 90, is one of them. Now checking in is Juan Gonzalez. And a timeout was called.
As you get a look at Coach Henderson in there talking to his players. And I'll tell you what, Lou, even in a losing effort in the last few games not going their way, Coach Henderson has definitely changed the culture here. And you see that in the way these players take pride in wearing that Cougar jersey now. And you hear their running back, who's out right now, Taylor, talk about how much he can't wait to come back next year.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what you want to hear from guys that are underclassmen.
Hey, come here. Hey, big man, come out.
So coming out is certainly a big man, Damarin Whitman, a senior, 6'1" and 315 pounds. For senior night, he should give his parents a gift card to the store.
It's a big kid.
A lot of groceries. Pitch goes back, and nothing doing again. If they got back to the line of scrimmage, Hawthorne would be lucky.
Houston falling forward for another pickup. Going up third about 10 yards.
So it'll be 3rd and 11 on the loss of a yard. Well, the Hawthorne Spirit Squad, the cheerleaders and song leaders and everybody, they're always up. They're one of the best in the South Bay. So it'll be 3rd down and 11. Robledo wants to pass, does have a man open, but is picked off by Esteen, his second of the night. Coming down the near sideline, gets a couple of blocks now, cuts across the grain, wants to get into the end zone, but he is caught from behind and taken down. But still.
And that's another big play right there by Mikael Esteen. As that ball looks like it was intended for him almost. I mean, it just falls right into his hands. You see he has great size, 6'2", 170 pounds, and Robledo throws it, and it just looks like that was intended for Mikael. As he tries to make a play and tries to get another pick six, he is taken down.
So it's to the 10-yard line. So about a 25-yard return. Hamler under center. And Nate Davis. Or do we have a change of quarterback? Joshua Barberin is now quarterback. And so Hamler's day may be done.
Yeah, Hamler had a pretty good game. I mean, no point in using your starting quarterback right now. Let a couple other guys get some run out there.
That's true. And that goes to Ryan Wells, and Ryan Wells gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Cardinals. So that was a 5-yard run for the touchdown. At the 6:55 mark. So that took all of 30 seconds. 2 plays. Kick is up, and it is good. So with 6:55 left to go in the third quarter, 62-6. Cardinals over the Cougars. Let's go down to Darius.
Hey, thanks, guys. Just an update, the injury update on Luis Rivera, the Hawthorne Cougars center, actually. He tweaked his ankle. They're trying to tape it up, getting ready to go, see how he's feeling. They don't really want to risk it due to the fact that he is a junior, so they want to know if it's really worth putting back out there, as the score is 62-6. But from the looks of it, they seem to tape his ankle back up, and he will be back out there. Back to you.
All right. Thank you, Darius. So the interception by Esteen is cashed in by Wells. Second interception, or third interception, I should say, is cashed in for a touchdown. Alex Perez just doing kicking practice tonight. So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line with 6:55 left to go in the third quarter. There's Axel.
And with that touchdown, Lawndale is 1 point away from their season high in points. 63 was the most they scored this year against Lusinger.
So not showing much love to the locals. It's 125 points against your neighbors.
You know what? A message has to be sent. I guess they want to let everybody know that they are the top dogs in the Centinela Valley
by far. Robledo out of the shotgun, has Houston behind him. Hand off to Houston, and he's buried at the line of scrimmage. Naki Fahina always around the ball.
Yeah, Fahina is such an important defensive player on this team, as Pinkston and, Mikhail, a lot of guys that can mix it up, and a lot of guys that are coming back next year as well. Robledo with the snap. It's a nice little screen pass on the inside. Picks up about 3 on the play.
Pinkston on the tackle, so it'll be 3rd down and 7.
Get a look at that replay right there. Wardle tries to go somewhere, and Pinkston says, sit right down here, little fella.
Only the second pass completed tonight by Robledo. He has 3 interceptions. And you can hear Coach Henderson talking to his players. Robledo back to pass, looks right, goes left over the middle, and that's picked off again. This one is picked off by Stanley Livingstone. Livingstone, I presume, is headed towards the 5-yard line.
Livingstone with a big interception again, and you know, a lot of guys that we don't usually get to see, they're getting in there right now, and they're making their presence felt.
Stanley, just a junior, and that's the 4th interception.
And Stan, you know, almost has a chance for a pick 6 right here, but he is tackled right down at the 4-yard line.
Tight running play as the ball is handed off straight to Anthony Williams III and gets to the 2-yard line. Good stand by the Cougar defense.
Looks like we have number 54 here on the Cougars limping off the field right now as we get a look at the replay.
Nice sure tackle on the play by Damian Reynoso. And this is a push into the end zone. Touchdown, Lawndale. That's Anthony Williams III with a 2-yard touchdown, his first of the night. And that makes it 68-6. And now the white flag has been raised with under 4 minutes left to go. Actually, the clock is, it's rolling. 3:50 left to go in the ball game. Cobbin waiting for the snap. Perez with the kick, and it is good. 3:30, clock counting, 69-6 in favor of Lawndale.
And that's now 7 different players who have scored here for Lawndale, and you talk about sharing the wealth. That's exactly what they're doing here tonight.
Very impressive. So a 2-play drive, it was only 4 yards.
I'll tell you what, Lawndale at 69 points, you putting up basketball numbers.
Yeah, and I hear that the basketball team is a very good team this year, too. We'll have to remember this score, see if they can match that in a game. This one is squibbed down and picked up by Houston, the first one for the special teams to get some work.
Now tell me this, Lou, if you decide to not have a running clock, can you change your decision about that?
Well, it looks like the clock is a little wacky. It's skipping its numbers there, but there you see Houston, and a nice play by this hungry team. Tyler Davis, the first on the scene. So under 2 minutes left to go now in the ball game on senior night. And was there a penalty? Personal foul on Lawndale. So that's 15 yards, or is that 10 yards? They're going to give 10 yards to the Cougars, so it'll be 1st and 10 from the 30. With 1:20 and the clock is rolling. So I'd imagine that Coach Henderson would put out the Jackrabbits and let Robledo try to put the ball out there and let the Jackrabbits catch it on the run. Or the Cougars. Hey, Cougars are fast. Have you ever outrun a Cougar?
I don't think it's many people that can outrun a Cougar, if anybody.
Well, on the option play, Houston gets it, and that's why I'm up here. Houston maybe got a yard. That was the 15th carry for Devon Houston. 30 seconds left to go in the ball game. Cougars waiting to get the play in. There you see the time running off the clock.
Race the red, Josh. Race the red. Race the red. Race the red.
And let's see if they can even get this play off. Robledo on the option play gives it to Houston, tries to cut up field, but can't do it, and that's going to do it for the ball game. At least for the quarter. Pardon me. We're just going to go into the fourth quarter. I am so sorry. That's going to be the third quarter. How about that?
There you go. And going into the fourth quarter. You know, Lawndale, they pretty much have a whole new team out there on the field. You can pretty much rest assured that Coach Clark is going to rest his starters and a lot of his main guys in that rotation right now. A lot of guys on the field who haven't had a big opportunity this season. Mikel Estein's still out there.
So is Naki Fahina. I think you'd want him out there anyway.
Yeah, just to keep applying pressure, especially on the defensive end.
He's on the defensive line now. Looks like it's a 3-4. Oh, no, we got a fourth. Well, let's see what's going to happen here. The back judge is calling for the offense to come out. And a weary Hawthorne line comes out. Javen Tu'ua leading the way, the left tackle. So Fahina is the nose tackle. And that ball, was that knocked down by Fahina?
Yeah, it looked like he had forward motion going, so they're going to rule it an incomplete. Was knocked down.
Naki Fahina wreaking havoc. So it's 4th down and 10 from the 31-yard line, or the 30-yard line they call it. Robledo with the punt. This one takes a Lawndale bounce and is downed
And the punt across to the 40-yard line. That'll be Cardinal ball.
by Nathan Paramo. So it goes back to the 42-yard line, pardon me. 62? What's he talking about? The 42, where it'll be 1st and 10 for Lawndale.
You know, and they said no to a running clock, but it doesn't really look like they have a choice here.
Now they raised the white flag towards the end of the third quarter, and it's been running ever since. When the quarter started, when the second half started, it wasn't a running clock. And a fumble But it looks like Lawndale recovered it. And it's going to be 2nd down and 10.
As you see, the quarterback fumbles the snap right there. That's Joshua Barbarian. They're lucky enough to get back on that ball.
A little bit of hold by a nice wrestling takedown by Isaiah Poilani on Jonathan Alvarado, but no call.
Short gain up the middle for 3rd and long.
That was a running play there by Joshua Pittman. No gain on the play.
So 3rd and 10, Pittman's first run. Nine Lawndale Cardinals have run the ball tonight. Out of the eye. Ryan Wells gets it. No, that's not Ryan Wells. That is Jonathan Watson. Watson is outrunning everybody. Watson fighting for the end zone, gets inside the 15-yard line. Huge run by Jonathan Watson.
Yeah, Jonathan Watson is another player that he can definitely accelerate. And there's been a lot of times this season where you see Coach Clark put him in that backfield with Jordan Wilmore so they can wreak havoc on defenses. As you see right here, he gets a big help from some of his offensive linemen. He bounces out to the outside.
So that's a 43-yard run. Not bad for a first run. He's a tailback again. And so is Barbarin. And into the end zone goes Mr. Jonathan Watson. Touchdown, Lawndale.
And the Cardinal back on 6 more there.
So a 15-yard run, and that's a touchdown for Jonathan Watson.
Jonathan Watson on the replay right here, as you see, he just goes in freely.
Great blocking up front by Lawndale. Axel Perez looking to tack on the extra point again. And does. 7:20 left to go in the 4th quarter. And it's 76-6.
I'll tell you what, Lou, I've never even scored 76 points on the video game. So this is a pretty high amount right here.
It sure is. This is a definition of a blowout at the expense of Hawthorne on senior night.
Yeah, it's especially tough when you have to play a team like this on your senior night. I mean, it's no shame to the Cougars. I mean, this is what Lawndale has been doing to teams all year.
58-yard drive by the Cardinals. Took 4 or 5 plays. And Jonathan Watson had all of the yardage. Perez, a high, majestic kick again, and that goes out of the end zone. So 6:05 left to go, clock running. Hawthorne will get it at the 20-yard line. Axel Perez is going to have to put that leg on ice as he is 10 out of 11 on extra point tries. And there's the pain of the ball game right there. Javen Tu'ua with a gimpy right leg. Ball is handed off to Houston. Boy, what a lot of heart he has shown tonight.
Yeah, Houston, I'm sure Coach went to him
a
few weeks ago, and told him that, hey, a lot of the offensive load is going to rely on you, as he is barreled as he goes in the inside. You see on that replay, but that's really tough when your best player goes out and you're asked to take on most of this load, and he's still down on the floor.
And no gain. He just got belted. Well, let's hope that Devon is okay, the sophomore running back and quarterback, 5'11", 180 yards. And he is wobbly.
Yeah, definitely taking his time coming off the field, but it's another bright spot for the Cougars going forward. Only a sophomore, so you want to make sure he's okay.
Looks like he got hit by George Foreman and his grill.
Yeah, those are some big boys out there on that end for Lawndale, and when you run up against them, you got to understand that there's a chance you might get your lights out.
A great night's work by Devon Houston, and Robledo gets sacked in the backfield by Keenan Files.
Keenan Files read that play perfectly as he comes up on the left side here and just takes Robledo down, and that's a textbook tackle.
So a loss on the play of 6. Makes it 3rd down and 16. The Cougars are looking at their coaches, trying to get the signals. Clock is running. 3:20 left to go, and almost in the backfield was a tackle. A few yards back on that one. Anthony Stubbs. Was he in there? Was either Anthony Stubbs. Yep. Well, it was number 44, and we don't have number 44. Somebody from the JV.
Yeah, Anthony Stubbs definitely responsible.
So a gain of 2. It'll be 4th down and 14. Robledo out of the shotgun. And illegal motion, false start. Coming in to replace Houston is Delapo Abiro. So now 4th and 19. Robledo trying to quick kick it. And it's down quickly by Nathan Paramo. So it's 1st and 10 for Lawndale with 1:30 left to go in the ball game, or thereabouts, at the 34-yard line.
So do they keep scoring, or are they going to take a knee here?
Well, if Travis Clark, the way we know him, he's probably going to keep that foot on the pedal. He's shown no mercy.
It's very true, and plus you have other.
Well, they are going into the victory stance.
Looks like they are. You got a lot of guys in there that want to get some good plays in too, but think it's enough for tonight.
Barbarin kneels on the first one, and should be one more kneel.
And all credit goes to the boys. Hard fought all season long, playing through a lot of adversity.
So 30 seconds left to go, and that's it. Barbarin kneels again, and in 20 seconds, the Lawndale Cardinals are going to be 10-0 overall and 5-0, run the table here in the Ocean League.
Yeah, they definitely did. They've taken care of business against every single team that they faced. And it's going to be scary for any team that has to face that team in the playoffs.
Well, we had a comparison, what was it, last week or a couple of weeks ago? The Beverly Hills or the El Segundo coach compared them to Gardena Serra this year. So them's pretty big apples there. As the clock strikes 0, 76-6 is our final score. And Hawthorne, well, even though they're discouraged and probably going to be very sore tomorrow, they have nothing to be sorry about because they were just completely outmanned. And did you see Jalen Hamler do the Ozzie Smith full somersault?
Doesn't surprise me. Athletic as he is.
Anybody who might remember Ozzie Smith grew up in Santa Ana, played a Hall of Fame career in St. Louis for the Cardinals, and used to do front flips and back flips every beginning of every game on his way out to Busch Stadium. And there was a cartwheel, I guess you'd call that, what Jalen Hamler did. And why not? Being undefeated, having that big egg at the in the loss column, that'll make anybody happy. And that's the way that Jalen Hamler's senior season closes out, 10-0. Not bad.
Not bad at all. He's had a very successful season. I mean, he is very much so to look at this team's success. I mean, a lot of things don't happen this year without Jalen Hamler. He's a really good quarterback. He doesn't make any mistakes, only one interception on the year. He's a very skilled quarterback, like I said, and when you got a guy that goes out there and he is an extension of the coach, what more can you ask for?
Not much. And if Darius turns around, there you go. You better get him in a hurry. Travis ain't going to stick around. There he goes. Trying to wait. Well, Travis is probably going to talk to his players at the 20-yard line and congratulate them. But, yeah, we had quite a game tonight as Lawndale defeats Hawthorne 76-6. And why don't we add up some numbers and take a quick time out here on City TV Sports.
There. Heard about the Scarecrow who won an award? He was outstanding in his field.
Back here at Halcap Field in Hawthorne, California, 76-6 is our final score. And Wilmore did not run in the second half. And McKeel Esteen, let's go down to the field where McKeel Esteen and Coach Travis Clark are with Darius Jackson.
Thanks, guys. Well, once again, another typical Friday where the Lawndale Cardinals, they blow out once again another opponent to solidify their undefeated season going 10-0. Standing next to Coach Clark. Coach Clark, talking to you at halftime. Earlier in the season, I referred to as Bill Belichick, where you guys are dominating your opponents, but you still seem to be really not satisfied and you want to see your team get better. What way you want to go ahead and see your team get better coming into the playoffs?
I think we just got to work on our discipline. You know, we've been talking about this all year. We've got to have dignity in class, and I want to make sure that we understand that, especially heading into the playoffs. Everybody's competitive. Everybody can beat you. You know, Hawthorne was competitive. They could have beat us. They played really good in the first quarter. I told my kids they were going to come out slugging, so I'm glad that we settled down and played better in the second half, in our second quarter, and moving on forward.
the past 2 weeks, your key guys, Jordan Wilmore, Jalen Hamler, they was able to go ahead and get some significant rest. How important is that also coming to the playoffs where you have star players that the season does catch up, especially to these high school athletes? Is it important for them to go ahead and rest up throughout the second half, what we saw the past 2 weeks?
Absolutely. That's a good point. All year, if you think about it, I think if you check the numbers, Jordan's only been averaging 15 carries per game, and it's probably dropped the last couple of weeks. And that's because we want to keep these kids fresh. Him and Jalen, we want to keep these kids fresh as possible heading into the playoffs, and we've done that. Thank goodness that we've secured league again. We're excited about that. But right now, it's more important. We got some bigger fish to fry, so we're looking forward to moving on next week.
Well, congratulations on the healthy season, and you can't go undefeated without having a ferocious defense. And you know me, guys, I love myself some defense, and a contributor to that defense is their top corner, Mikael Esteen. What was that, 2 interceptions today?
Yes, 2 interceptions, 1 pick six, and I'll try to go to the house on the other one.
So it's the difference, talking to the coaches compared to where the players talk amongst each other in the locker room. Did you guys always envision an undefeated season at the start of August?
It always started during the off season, like during 707 time. We always wanted to go 14-0 and go all the way through the championship, everything, all the way.
Okay, so I know a DB, they always keep in their mind how many interceptions they got throughout the year. So how many is that? Adding 2 today, what is that all throughout the year?
Altogether, I have 6 interceptions and 1 pick six.
There you go. Congratulations to that. So when it comes to, keeping this, the defense, in my opinion, is pretty much, it sets a tone for the team. You guys are a physical team on both sides of the ball. You guys run the ball hard, and you guys are ferocious on the defensive side when it comes to swarming to the ball, dominating front seven, let alone a secondary. Is that something that was built also throughout the offseason? You guys just really bonded together and realized, oh, hey, we got a good chemistry going on?
Yes, it all started during the first game. We all came together as one, started talking before the game, and we was like, we want to shut down St. Bonaventure's. And then we got to Crespi game. We just wanted to lock them down all the way and keep them at 0.
All right, Mikael. Well, hey, congratulations. The job ain't done, though, right?
I know. We're trying to go all the way 14-0.
There you go. Congratulations, Lawndale Cardinals undefeated season, but they're not done yet. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you very much, Darius. Great job and great to get Mikael Esteen and Coach Travis Clark. And it is a great idea to try to get some rest for those guys, especially the starters, and because there's a big playoff game, and we'll find out Sunday who Lawndale will get. I would imagine with an undefeated record that they would have a home game.
Yeah, more than likely they're going to have a home game, and that's usually how it goes with the more dominant teams. But I definitely see them going far this year. I mean, even though you don't feel like they haven't been tested. You feel like they just dominate everybody they play, and you haven't heard anybody say, we're gonna be tested this week, or we need to play a better team. They've played good teams, and they have made all of them look bad just because of how good they are.
Yeah, on both sides, all three aspects of football: offense, defense, and special teams. I mean, with Alex Perez, you're not going to get a whole lot of chances to run the ball back, and then with their squad that is on the tacklers, the attackers on special teams, they're the ones that want to impress the coaches for next year.
Yeah, those guys are the heart and soul of this team. And one thing about this Lawndale team is we saw it earlier when we were watching them in warm-ups. They are a unit, and that is what makes them so good. They play for each other. It is not one guy on this team that plays for himself. That's just the camaraderie that they have, and that's what Coach Travis has preached to them all year, and they've welcomed that.
All right, now it's time for our player of the game and our tip of the hat. And Darius Jackson had the foresight to pick our player of the game, and Mikael Esteen.
Mikael Esteen, yeah, he had a very big game, and he talked about it. That's 6 interceptions for him on the year, 2 picks today, and a pick 6. Took one to the house. And you know what? Like I said earlier in the game, Coach Travis says it all the time. He's a big part of what we're going to do going forward. And I wouldn't be surprised if he is one of the top defensive backs when he becomes a junior or a senior, because he just has a knack for the ball, and he just knows where to be on defense at all times, and he's very physical, and he runs well, and that's what makes him great.
He certainly does. So Wilmore, check that Mikhail Esting. There you see his pick six, picking his way through the Hawthorne tacklers, and that's the second interception, and a tackle made there by Jeremiah Alima. So congratulations to Mikhail, and that was the touchdown. And then our player of the game is it's senior night here for Hawthorne. They didn't have a whole lot to cheer about, but they did have Joshua Robledo's 74-yard touchdown run to cheer about in the first drive when there was boom, boom. They just started swapping touchdowns. But you have to tip your hat to the 17 seniors on this Hawthorne Cougar squad.
Yeah, without a doubt. I mean, they have changed the culture here. I mean, these guys, they came in and they got off to a great start in the season. They were the talk of the South Bay early on, other than Lawndale. They started off 4-0, and maybe they didn't play, teams that really tested them like that. But, they came out and they played, and all you can do is dominate who's ever in front of you, and that's what they did. Ended up going 5-1, lost a couple games later on, but they played really good this year. Hawthorne definitely turned it around.
All right, that's going to do it here from Halcap Field on the campus of Hawthorne High School. The Lawndale Cardinals flying high into the playoffs with an undefeated season and another Ocean League championship, 76-6 in favor of Lawndale over Hawthorne. For Darius Jackson and Sebastian Spencer up here with me, and Tom Strickfadden and the award-winning crew down in the truck, and also Eric Chavez peeking around the corner. I'm Lou and the newlywed Francisco Castillo. I'm Lou Stowers. Until next time, so long.